Welcome back to the channel JF Coin Treasure Hunters and Coin Lovers, to another exciting episode of Rare Coins Revealed. Today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating, mysterious, and valuable coins that has captured the attention of collectors all around the world, the 1983 D Lincoln cent. This tiny 1-cent coin, minted in Denver, might look ordinary at first glance, but hidden within its coppery shine lies a story of history, change, and hidden fortune that could make your jaw drop. Believe it or not, some of these 1983 D Lincoln pennies are worth hundreds of dollars, even up to $442 or more, depending on their condition and rarity. So get ready, because by the end of this video, you might want to check your coin jars, your piggy banks, and even that old box of change your grandparents kept tucked away for decades. Let's start with the fascinating history behind the 1983 Lincoln penny. In 1982, something major happened in the world of American coinage. The U.S. Mint decided to change the metal composition of the penny. Before 1982, pennies were made mostly of copper, about 95% copper and 5% zinc. But because copper became expensive, the mint switched to making pennies primarily out of zinc, with just a thin layer of copper plating. This change wasn't just a small tweak, it completely transformed the way pennies looked, felt, and even sounded when they dropped onto a table. The new pennies were lighter, shinier, and cheaper to make. However, during this transition period, a few rare errors and experimental strikes occurred, and that's where the story of the 1983 D Lincoln penny gets so interesting. The 1983 D was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark below the date on the front of the coin. Most of these pennies were made from the new zinc planchets, but some extremely rare ones, either through error or leftover materials, were struck on the old copper planchets used in 1982. This means that a genuine 1983 D copper penny is a coin collector's dream come true. It's like finding a hidden treasure from a time of transition in U.S. history. Now, how can you tell if your 1983 D penny is special? The easiest way is by weighing it. A normal 1983 D penny made from zinc weighs about 2.5 grams, while a rare copper version weighs around 3.1 grams. That's a small difference, but it's the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So if you've got a 1983 D penny lying around, grab a digital scale and check that weight. If it tips toward 3.1 grams, you may just be holding a small fortune in your hand. But weight isn't the only thing collectors look for. The condition of the coin plays a massive role in its value. A mint state coin, meaning it's in nearly perfect condition, with sharp details and a beautiful, original shine, can command astonishing prices at auction. Even small details like the color, luster, and presence of any minting errors can significantly increase its value. For example, a well-preserved 1983 D penny with a bold strike and no scratches can easily reach over $442 in today's collector market. Some even go higher depending on the demand and rarity of the batch. Now let's talk about the design and legacy of this coin. The front side, known as the obverse, features the proud profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has been used since 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. It's one of the longest-running coin designs in American history, symbolizing strength, unity, and freedom. On the back, or reverse, we see the image of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., designed by Frank Gasparo. If you look closely, you can actually see a tiny statue of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial, an incredible detail for such a small coin. This design was used from 1959 until 2008, making it an iconic part of American coin history. But what really gives the 1983 D Lincoln penny its legendary status among collectors is not just its look, but its connection to a time of transformation. The early 1980s were a pivotal period when America was facing economic shifts, rising material costs, and changes in production. The switch from copper to zinc wasn't just about saving money, it was a reflection of the country adapting to a new era. And coins like the 1983 D penny are tangible reminders of that story, small pieces of history that people can hold in their hands. Let's not forget the minting errors and variations that make certain 1983 D pennies so valuable. Some examples include double die errors, off-center strikes, and plating bubbles caused by the new copper plating process. These unusual features can turn a common coin into a collector's masterpiece. There have been verified cases of 1983 pennies selling for hundreds, even thousands of dollars at coin shows and online auctions simply because of a rare error or exceptional minting quality. Now, let's move on to the market value and collector interest today. As of the current coin market, the 1983 Lincoln penny can fetch values ranging from a few cents in worn condition to over $442 or more in mint state, or with a special error. The demand for high-quality coins is stronger than ever, and collectors are willing to pay premium prices for coins that stand out. Even professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC have certified 1983 pennies at top grades, and these coins often sell quickly once they hit the market. So, if you're lucky enough to find a shiny 1983 penny that looks different, heavier, or unusually bright, don't ignore it. Put it under good light, check for any doubling in the letters, especially Liberty and In God We Trust, and take a close look at the mint mark. Then weigh it carefully, because if it's that rare copper version, you might be looking at a coin that could bring in hundreds of dollars, maybe even more, depending on the market. Think about it, a coin that was once worth a single cent could now be worth over $442. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about money, it's about history, mystery, and the thrill of discovery. Every coin tells a story, and the 1983 Lincoln penny tells a story of change, innovation, and unexpected value. So next time you get change from a store, take a moment to look at your pennies. That old, dull-looking coin could be hiding a secret worth hundreds of dollars. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced collector, the hunt for rare pennies like the 1983 Lincoln cent is one of the most exciting parts of this hobby. If you enjoyed learning about this amazing coin, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive into rare US coins that could be worth a fortune. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. Who knows, maybe someone out there has a 1983 copper penny hiding in their collection right now. Thank you for watching, and remember, the next time you hold a penny, don't just see a coin. See a piece of history, a story of America, and maybe, just maybe, a small treasure waiting to be discovered. Keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows? The next rare coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars might be sitting right in your hand. Now go check your change. Your 1983 Lincoln penny could be the jackpot you never expected. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and surprising treasures hiding right in plain sight, the 1980 Lincoln penny. A small copper coin that most people spend without a second thought. But in reality, some of these pennies have shocked collectors and auction houses by selling for hundreds of dollars, even reaching around $442 in the coin market today. Yes, you've heard that right, a single 1980 penny could make you richer if you know exactly what to look for. So stay with me till the very end of this video, because we're uncovering the history, the hidden secrets, and the true market value that makes this 1-cent coin a hot collector's dream. To truly understand why the 1980 Lincoln penny is so special, we have to go back to the history of the coin itself. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait. The obverse, or front side, proudly carries Lincoln's profile, symbolizing honesty, leadership, and freedom. The reverse, in earlier years, showed 2 wheat ears, giving rise to the famous wheat penny era. But starting in 1959, the U.S. Mint changed the design to honor the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. By 1980, the penny had already evolved through decades of American history, yet the Denver Mint's 1980 penny stood out for more reasons than one. That little D mint mark below the date represents Denver, a mint known for producing coins of great quality but also for a few rare and valuable errors that slipped through the cracks. Let's look closely at what makes this coin interesting. The 1980 Lincoln penny is made mostly of copper, precisely 95% copper and 5% zinc. That copper content alone gives it more intrinsic value than newer pennies, which are mostly zinc coated with a thin layer of copper. The coin weighs about 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. It features the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 1980, along with that small but important D mint mark just below the date. Millions were minted in Denver, but here's the twist: not all 1980 D pennies are created equal. Some have unique minting errors, doubled dies, off-center strikes, or unusual surfaces that make collectors go absolutely crazy over them. Now, this is where things get exciting. Ordinary 1980 D pennies might only be worth a few cents, but if yours has an error or special feature, it could easily be worth hundreds of dollars or more. Let's talk about some of those valuable types. First, the double die error. This happens when the coin die strikes the design twice, creating a shadow-like doubling effect on the letters or numbers. If you look closely at Liberty, or the date, 1980, and see a doubling or blurry outline, you might just have one of these rare varieties. Another type is the off-center strike, where the design doesn't sit perfectly centered on the coin. Sometimes only a part of Lincoln's face is visible, while the rest looks like it's been pushed to the side. These are incredibly collectible, especially if the date is still visible. Then there's the die crack or cut error, where extra metal appears raised on the coin, often looking like a ridge or blob. These imperfections can make a normal penny skyrocket in value depending on the location and visibility of the flaw. Collectors also love the repunched mint mark, where the D mint mark was stamped more than once. These are subtle details but highly prized by experts. So, how does a small penny from 1980 reach a market value of over $400? The answer is a mix of rarity, condition, and collector demand. A perfectly preserved 1980 D penny graded MS67 or higher by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can easily fetch hundreds of dollars at auction. The record price for one of these pristine coins has gone as high as $442, and even slightly lower grades can sell for $100 to $200 depending on the quality and demand. But don't think only mint-state coins have value. Even circulated coins with unique features can be worth more than face value, especially if they show a doubling, off-center strike, or strong die crack. Always check your pocket change carefully, because even a coin with a small flaw can surprise you. Want to know if your 1980 D penny could be worth hundreds? Here's what to do. First, find a good magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look closely at the date, the word Liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust" for any doubling or odd outlines. Check Lincoln's face and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side for any strike errors or metal distortions. Next, pay attention to the condition. Coins with shiny, untouched surfaces and sharp details are worth much more than worn-out ones. And if you think your coin might be something special, get it professionally graded. A certified grade from PCGS or NGC not only confirms its authenticity but also increases its market value instantly. Did you know that 1980 was one of the last full years where pennies were made almost entirely from copper? By 1982, the U.S. Mint switched to copper-plated zinc because copper prices were rising too high. That means your 1980 D penny is among the last true copper coins in circulation, which adds another layer of collector interest. Also, the Denver Mint is famous for strong strikes and clean surfaces, making 1980 D coins some of the finest examples of late 20th century minting. But ironically, that also makes any error or defect even more valuable, because errors were much rarer from that facility. Across the United States and around the world, coin enthusiasts are still searching through rolls of pennies from banks and jars in their homes, hoping to spot that special 1980 D variety. What might look like just another coin to most people could be a collector's jackpot worth hundreds of dollars. Some rare mint condition examples even end up displayed in private collections or sold in high-profile auctions. The combination of copper content, historical design, minting quality, and rare errors makes the 1980 D penny a standout among modern coins. So next time you find a 1980 D Lincoln penny in your pocket, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. That small copper coin might carry a story of American history and maybe even a hidden fortune. Collectors are paying big money for these treasures, with prices reaching up to $442 or more. Who knows, The next time you dig into your change jar or open an old piggy bank, you might just find one of these valuable pieces staring right back at you. If you love discovering rare coins, hidden treasures, and learning how small details can turn ordinary money into extraordinary finds, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss our latest videos on rare US coins worth big money. Remember, every coin has a story, and the 1980 Lincoln penny might just be the one that changes yours. Would you like me to make this script sound even more dramatic and storytelling style, like a voiceover narration for a coin collector documentary? I can expand it even further with emotional hooks, historical scenes, and suspense build-up to make it last over 10 minutes of narration time. Today, you might just find out that one of them could be worth a fortune. Let's start with a bit of history, because every coin tells a story. The year was 1988, and the Lincoln penny had already been in circulation for nearly 80 years. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, this iconic coin became the first U.S. coin to feature the image of a real historical person and not just a symbolic figure. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse side of the coin features Lincoln's portrait, a design so classic and timeless that it's still in use today. Now, fast forward to 1988. This was a time of change in America. Ronald Reagan was in his final year as president, and coins were being mass-produced by the Denver Mint, represented by the small letter D under the date on the front of the penny. More than 5 billion 1988 Lincoln cents were struck that year, which makes you wonder, how can a penny from such a huge mintage be worth hundreds of dollars today? Here's where things get exciting. Among those billions of coins, a very small number came out with unique and rare features that make them stand out. These special versions are what collectors call the 1988 transitional era pennies. So what exactly is that? Well, during 1988, the Mint used dies that were originally meant for 1989 pennies by mistake. That means some 1988 pennies actually have the reverse design intended for 1989 coins specifically, the small differences in the designer's initials, FG, near the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side. On regular 1988 pennies, the initials look more spread out, but on the rare transitional era variety, the initials are closer together and more refined, matching the style of the 1989 reverse. Collectors call this coin the 1988 Lincoln cent with the 1989 reverse, and it's one of the most sought-after modern pennies in the coin collecting world. It's not just a small detail, it's a minting error that reveals a hidden piece of U.S. mint history. But that's not all. Some 1988 pennies also show striking errors like off-center strikes, double dies, or die cracks that can make them even more valuable. For example, a 1988 penny with strong doubling on the date or mint mark can easily sell for hundreds of dollars, and coins in pristine, uncirculated condition graded MS67 or higher by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC can reach $442 or more in the coin market. Now let's talk about how you can identify if your 1988 penny is one of these rare treasures. First, take a look at the reverse side of the coin right under the Lincoln Memorial. To the right of the statue, you'll see the initials FG. If they're crisp, thin, and close together, you may have the 1989 reverse design. Compare it carefully to images of the regular and transitional reverse online or in coin reference books. Next, check the overall condition. If your coin has a bright red luster, no scratches, and sharp details on Lincoln's face and hair, it could be in mint state condition. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Even a regular 1988 penny in mint state can sell for a few dollars, but one with the transitional reverse or major error can easily jump into the hundreds. Let's also look at the materials. By 1988, the U.S. Mint was making pennies from 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, plating a big change from the solid copper pennies of earlier decades. These zinc-based pennies are lighter, and their condition can deteriorate faster, so finding one that has survived over 35 years in near-perfect shape is quite rare and highly desirable for collectors. But here's the thing that makes this coin even more amazing: its market demand is rising year after year. Coin enthusiasts are constantly looking for these small minting mistakes, and because the 1988 transitional reverse is so hard to find, its value keeps increasing. Some collectors predict that in the future these coins could be worth well over $1,000 as more people learn about them and competition grows in the collector market. So, before you toss that penny into a jar or use it to buy gum, take a closer look. That tiny 1988 mark below the date might be your ticket to discovering a hidden gem worth hundreds of dollars. Imagine finding one of these coins in your change, a simple penny turning into $442 or more. That's the magic of coin collecting, hidden history and incredible value right in the palm of your hand. And remember, even if you don't find the rare transitional reverse variety, coin collecting isn't just about money, it's about stories, heritage, and the thrill of the hunt. Each penny connects you to a piece of American history, from the image of Lincoln himself to the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint. So, if you've got old jars or piggy banks full of pennies, this is the perfect time to start searching. Grab a magnifying glass, look for that 1988D, and inspect the reverse closely. Who knows, you could be holding one of the rarest pennies ever produced. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the story of the 1988D Ultra Lincoln penny, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing coin stories. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss our next video, where we uncover even more rare US coins that could be hiding right under your nose and could be worth a fortune. Thank you for watching, and remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes, that story is worth a lot more than just 1 cent. Keep hunting, keep learning, and maybe the next time you check your change, you'll discover your own $442 treasure. Would you like me to extend this script further, maybe add a dramatic introduction, voiceover style section, or ending call to action tailored for YouTube engagement? Today's story is about the 1997 Ultra Lincoln penny, a coin that many people have in their collections or even in their change jars without realizing that it could be worth hundreds of dollars. Yes, you heard that right, up to $442 in today's coin market. So grab your magnifying glass, your collector's gloves, and your curiosity, because we are diving deep into the amazing journey, value, and hidden details of the 1997 Lincoln cent, one of the most talked about modern coins in U.S. numismatic history. The birth of the 1997 Lincoln penny. To understand the importance of the 1997 Lincoln penny, we first need to travel back in time to where it all began. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin was a revolution in American coinage. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln himself. For nearly a century, this design has symbolized the American spirit, hard work, and integrity. But in 1997, something unique happened in the world of pennies. That year's minting introduced small variations and mint errors that turned ordinary cents into collector's gold. The 1997 Lincoln penny was struck primarily at 2 locations, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, but not all 1997 pennies are created equal. Some have rare characteristics, slight die variations, and striking errors that make them highly desirable among collectors. The hidden rarity of the 1997 Ultra Lincoln penny. Now here's where things get exciting. Most 1997 pennies you'll find in circulation are worth just 1 cent. But a small percentage of these coins, known as Ultra Lincoln pennies, have unique qualities that make them worth hundreds of dollars. Collectors call them Ultra because of their perfect strike quality, brilliant luster, and high mint state condition, sometimes graded MS68 or higher by professional coin grading companies like PCGS or NGC. In pristine, untouched condition, these 1997 Ultra Lincoln pennies can sell for $442 or more at auctions and online markets, depending on their grade and rarity features. What makes the 1997 penny valuable? Let's uncover what separates an ordinary penny from an ultra-valuable one. Mint state condition. The highest value goes to coins that have never been circulated. These are coins that still shine like new, with no scratches, marks, or dullness. If your 1997 penny looks as if it was struck yesterday, it could be worth examining closely. Mint errors, certain 1997 Lincoln pennies have doubling on the date or the word Liberty. Some also show die cracks, off-center strikes, or even misaligned edges. These minting mistakes make the coin rare and desirable, turning a 1-cent coin into a collector's prize. Die variety. Some rare versions show unique characteristics caused by worn dies during minting. These varieties are tracked and cataloged by coin experts, and if you happen to find one, you might have something truly special in your hand. Proof-like finish. Occasionally, a 1997 penny will have an unusually reflective, mirror-like surface, giving it a proof-like appearance. These coins are not common and are extremely collectible. How to identify a valuable 1997 Lincoln penny? If you have a 1997 penny, take a close look at it under good lighting, or even better, under a magnifying glass. Look for these clues. Is there a small D mint mark under the date? That means it was made in Denver. Is the surface bright and smooth, or is it scratched and dull? Check the lettering on Liberty and In God We Trust. For any signs of doubling, examine Lincoln's profile. Is it sharply struck, with clear details in the hair and beard? If your coin passes these tests and appears nearly flawless, it might be worth getting professionally graded. A graded 1997 Lincoln penny in MS-68 or higher condition could fetch $442 or even more, depending on the current coin market trends. The material and design. By 1997, the Lincoln cent was made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, unlike the older pennies made of solid bronze before 1982. The obverse still proudly features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to honor Lincoln's 150th birthday. If you look closely at the back of your penny with a magnifying glass, you can even see a tiny image of the Lincoln statue inside the memorial, a detail often overlooked by many. This is a small artistic touch that adds to the charm and design brilliance of the Lincoln cent. Why collectors love the 1997 Lincoln penny. Coin collectors are fascinated by the 1997 penny because it marks a period of transition in U.S. minting when technology improved but small imperfections still occurred, leading to fascinating varieties. The penny's low face value and potential high resale value make it one of the most rewarding coins to look for in everyday change. Many collectors have found valuable 1997 pennies right in circulation, hidden among ordinary coins. Imagine finding a $442 coin in your pocket. That's the thrill that keeps treasure hunters searching. The market today. As of today's coin market, a 1997 Lincoln penny in perfect mint state can reach prices up to $442, sometimes even more for those with certified grades or special errors. Auction houses, online coin marketplaces, and collector forums often feature these coins in bidding wars, with prices climbing fast for top-quality examples. Lower grades, such as circulated coins, usually sell for a few cents, but high-grade uncirculated ones can jump hundreds of times in value. The demand for pristine 1997 pennies continues to rise as collectors complete modern Lincoln cent sets. How you can find one? The best part is that these coins are still out there. You can search your old coin jars, bank rolls, or even ask local banks for penny rolls to hunt through. Coin roll hunting has become one of the most exciting hobbies today, and who knows, your next find could be a 1997 Ultra Lincoln penny worth hundreds of dollars. Make sure to keep your eyes open for bright, red-colored coins with sharp details. Those might be uncirculated treasures waiting to be discovered. Final thoughts. The 1997 Ultra Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how history, artistry, and a little bit of luck can turn an ordinary object into something extraordinary. From its humble beginnings in 1909 to its modern 1997 minting, the Lincoln cent continues to represent American craftsmanship and cultural pride. So, the next time you receive a handful of change, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. That small copper-colored coin might be a piece of history worth $442 or more. Keep collecting, keep exploring, and who knows, maybe the next great coin discovery will come from your pocket. If you enjoyed this video and love discovering rare coins and hidden treasures, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our latest coin value updates. Share this video with your friends and family. You might just help someone realize they've been carrying a small fortune all along. Thank you for watching, and until next time, happy collecting and good luck on your coin hunting adventures. Would you like me to make this same script sound more dramatic and cinematic, like a documentary narration style for YouTube voiceover? I can expand it to sound like a professional coin channel narration. Today we're diving deep into the mysterious and valuable world of the 2000 Lincoln cent, the 1-cent coin that many people overlook every day, but believe it or not, this small copper-colored coin can actually be worth hundreds of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. The 2000 Lincoln penny might look like an ordinary cent lying in your pocket change, but some rare varieties of this coin are selling in the collector's market for up to $442 and even more if they are in top-graded condition. So, let's begin the amazing story of how this simple coin became a collector's dream. The year 2000 was a special time for the United States Mint. The century had just turned and the Mint was producing billions of coins to mark a new era. The Lincoln penny design that started way back in 1909 continued its legacy, featuring the portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. This image had already become one of the most iconic faces in American coinage. The obverse of the coin shows Lincoln facing right with the word liberty on the left, and the phrase "In God We Trust" above his head, while the date 2000 appears on the right side, and below that the mint mark, which could be either P for Philadelphia or D for Denver. Now the reverse side of the 2000 Lincoln cent shows the beautiful Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This design replaced the earlier wheat reverse that had been used from 1909 to 1958, and became a familiar sight to generations of Americans. But what many people don't realize is that even though billions of 2000 pennies were struck, some of them turned out to be very different, very special, and very valuable. One of the reasons why collectors are so fascinated by the 2000 Lincoln penny is because of its errors and die varieties that make some coins incredibly rare. Some of the most sought after ones include the wide AM variety, where there is a noticeable space between the letters A and M in the word America. On the reverse side, normally these two letters are almost touching in standard coins, but in the wide AM variety the spacing is slightly wider, which makes it instantly noticeable under magnification. This variety was not intended for circulation and happened because the Mint accidentally used a proof die to strike some business strike coins. Only a few of these got out into circulation, making them worth hundreds of dollars. So if you have a 2000 penny in your possession, take a close look at the back of the coin and focus on the letters A and M in America. If they appear slightly separated, you might be holding a small fortune in your hand. The wide AM variety of the 2000 Lincoln cent can sell anywhere from $250 all the way up to $442 or more, depending on its condition. Coins graded MS65 and above by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can reach those higher price points, but that's not all. There are also other rare errors from the year 2000 that add to the value of the Lincoln cent. Some coins were struck off center, showing part of the design missing. Others have die cracks or extra metal called die chips on the letters or Lincoln's coat, and even double die errors where parts of the design appear doubled under magnification. Any of these features can turn an ordinary 1-cent piece into a highly collectible treasure worth far more than face value. Let's also talk about the metal composition of this fascinating coin. The 2000 Lincoln penny is part of the modern era where the coins are made mostly of zinc coated with a thin layer of copper. Earlier pennies before 1982 were made of solid bronze, but the Mint changed the composition to save production costs. This difference in metal doesn't just change the weight and sound of the coin but also affects how it ages and wears over time, making mint condition examples harder to find after 25 years of circulation. The story of the Lincoln penny goes back to 1909 when the coin was first introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure rather than a symbolic image. Victor David Brenner's design became so popular that it's still being used today, more than a century later, symbolizing Lincoln's enduring legacy of freedom, equality, and strength. Collectors love the 2000 Lincoln penny not only because of its monetary value but also because it represents the transition between the old and new centuries. A coin minted at the dawn of the 21st century, carrying the timeless face of Lincoln, who stood for unity and justice. If you think about it, holding this coin is like holding a piece of history, a small reminder of the journey from the early 1900s to the modern digital age. Now let's talk about the market value and how you can check if your penny is truly worth money. In average circulated condition, a normal 2000 Lincoln cent is worth just 1 cent, but if your coin is uncirculated with a brilliant luster showing no signs of where its value increases instantly in mint state condition, it could bring anywhere from $5 to $25. But if you discover a wide AM error variety, that's when the magic happens. Depending on the coin's grade and clarity of strike, it can easily sell between $300 to $442, and some collectors even pay more for perfect specimens graded MS67 or higher. So next time you get change from a store, don't rush to spend your pennies. Take a few minutes to look closely, check the date and the back of the coin. You might just spot one of those rare 2000 wide AM Lincoln cents that could change your day. Remember to look for other details too, like doubling in the letters "In God We Trust" or "Liberty," or any strange minting marks. These details can turn your simple pocket change into valuable collectibles. Coin collecting is not just about money, it's also about the adventure and history behind each coin. Every mark, every design, and every year tells a story about the nation's past and the people who made it. The 2000 Lincoln penny may be small, but its story is huge. It represents progress, continuity, and a bridge between 2 centuries, and that's what makes it so fascinating. So my friends, if you love history, mystery, and the thrill of discovery, then grab your magnifying glass and start checking your pennies. Who knows, maybe your next coin find could be worth hundreds of dollars. The 2000 Ultra Lincoln penny is proof that hidden treasures can still be found in the most unexpected places, and sometimes the smallest coin carries the biggest story. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2000 Lincoln penny, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with other coin lovers, because who knows, maybe one of your friends has a rare 2000 wide AM penny sitting in a jar right now. Keep watching, because in our next video we'll reveal even more amazing stories of coins that look ordinary but are secretly worth a fortune. Stay tuned, coin family, and keep hunting for your next treasure, because the world of coins never stops surprising us. Today, some of these valuable 2003 pennies are known as double die errors, where part of the design, such as the date, lettering, or even Lincoln's profile, appears slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. These doubling errors can range from minor to dramatic, and the more visible and crisp the doubling, the higher the coin's value. Another sought-after variety is the off-center strike, where the design is stamped partly off the coin's surface. The more off-center the strike while still showing a full date, the more valuable the penny becomes. Collectors also look for broad strike errors, die cracks, cuds, or even coins struck on foreign or experimental planchets, all of which can skyrocket a penny's worth from just 1 cent to hundreds of dollars. Now here's the part you'll love: the ultra-rare 2003 Lincoln penny that fetched $442 in the collector's market wasn't an ordinary piece. It was an error coin with sharp doubling visible on the word Liberty and parts of the date 2003, combined with an exceptionally high mint state condition. Coins graded by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC in mint state 67 or higher can reach prices that blow away most people's expectations. If your 2003 penny has that brilliant luster, no scratches, full details on Lincoln's hair and coat, and shows sharp striking, you might be holding on to a minor treasure. Even regular coins in pristine condition can bring $10 to $20 from collectors who specialize in high-grade modern cents. But when error varieties and top-quality grading come into play, that number climbs fast. So what makes collectors go crazy for these modern pennies? It's the thrill of the hunt, the idea that something so small and common could be a hidden gem. Every 2003 penny you find might carry a mystery, a tiny imperfection from the mint that turns it into a collector's dream. Let's also talk about the metal composition. The 2003 Lincoln penny, like most modern cents since 1982, is made primarily of zinc coated with copper, weighing about 2.5 grams. However, a few experimental planchet errors have appeared over the years. For instance, a 2003 penny accidentally struck on a brass planchet or with a missing copper coating can be worth hundreds or even thousands depending on the uniqueness. Now picture this: you're going through your pocket change, and you find a 2003 penny that just looks a little bit off. Maybe the color seems slightly different, or the letters look doubled, or the strike is slightly off-center. Before you spend it, hold it under a magnifying glass or a coin loop. What you might find could surprise you. Always remember, condition is key. The cleaner, sharper, and shinier your penny looks, the more desirable it becomes to collectors. Coins stored in protective holders, kept away from air and fingerprints, can retain their brilliance for decades, and those are the coins that catch a collector's eye. Today, in the coin collecting market, the 2003 Lincoln penny continues to grow in popularity, especially as collectors realize that even modern coins can hold tremendous value when rare varieties are discovered. Online auction sites and coin shows have seen strong bidding activity for these rare examples, and values have steadily climbed year after year. So next time you check your piggy bank, coin jar, or that handful of change you got from a store, pay attention. Look closely at the 2003 Lincoln pennies. Who knows? You could be holding one of the rare ultra-rare varieties worth $442 or more. That's the beauty of coin collecting: history, art, and mystery all in one small piece of metal that connects generations. Each coin tells a story, and each discovery brings excitement. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2003 Lincoln penny, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss our next video about rare coins hiding in plain sight. Drop a comment below if you found any interesting pennies or if you want me to cover another specific year. Who knows, your next penny might just be your hidden fortune. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep hunting for treasure, because every coin has a story, and every story can change your world. End of script.